Good morning, all of you. So today we'll discuss some geostationary orbit concept. Then afterwards we'll take some mixed ideas. Almost we know everything, almost all concepts. Some mixed problems we'll take in that one. Okay, first there's a small theoretical one is there. Let me finish off this. I'll go for the mixed concept problems. Now, what do you mean by geostationary? Suppose that we have a Earth and so it is going to rotate. Earth is going to rotate about its own axis. Now I'm going to draw an equatorial an orbit which will lie in equatorial plane. Okay, what do you mean by equatorial plane? So if this is the equator, there's the axis of Earth, and this will be west, this will be east, and this will be equator. No, this will be north, south. Okay, and this is the equatorial plane. So that this plane I'll shade it so that it'll be easy for us, like what we are discussing. So the Earth lies in this equatorial plane. Some rough diagram I'm giving. Okay, all of you now able to get this. Half of the earth will lie above the plane, half of the earth will lie below the plane. So that's the meaning of that one. Now here what will happen if I place a satellite, mass of satellite bm, mass of the earth e, and radius of the earth, let it be r. So what is this height? This height will become now h. This is called like a altitude. What is h? It's called as altitude. I'll measure from the surface of the earth. Now here the satellite will be having a speed. So who will provide required centripetal force? I think I'll put dotted line. The gravitational attractive force will provide required centripetal force, and this particular satellite, it will have a tangential speed. Okay, that we'll calculate later on. Then how the satellite, there's an equatorial plane. So where the satellite, it should lie in the equatorial plane. Then what happen? With respect to some point on Earth, it will appear stationary. So let there be a person is here. I'm making this person. This person is standing. With respect to what happen, the satellite will appear stationary. So what should be that height? For that, what should be the time period of the satellite? By the time the Earth completes, so there's a reference point. Now the person is standing here. By the time this point on the Earth goes round, and it take 24 hours, no? In that, what happens? The satellite also happens should take same time to go around the Earth. So if that happens, what happens? Then you can say that it will become geostationary. I think word okay, stationary. So what this person says, I'm seeing the satellite. You will not see to make you understand telling at a height of 36,000 kilometers. How do we can see? Not possible. To make you understand, I'm seeing the satellite at rest. You will comment like this. For me, the satellite is at rest. All the time the satellite will appear. Then I can go for communication. With the help of three satellites, almost we can cover the most of the part of the earth. Suppose say with the satellites here, no? So living this region. So this all of this living the polar regions open with the help of geostationary, we can cover with the help of three satellites. So these are not accessible. These are not accessible if satellite is here, no, because the signal sent by it will come only in this range. It cannot go beyond that one. So these polar regions are not accessible. I think there's just only some small basic idea. So 3 satellites which are separated by an angular separation of 120 degrees is sufficient for the global communication. What to do for polar regions? I'll go for other polar orbits. With the help of polar orbits open, I'll cover the communication for the polar regions. Let's not go for communication part all. So let me confine. So what is that H? How to find out? So we'll provide required center of the gravitational attractive force. So F is equal to GMEMS H plus R whole square. And what is this force? Mass of satellite omega square of satellite R is equal to GMEMS by H plus R whole square. Now what is omega s? Omega s should be equal to 2 times of time period. So what is the time period? Substitute that 24 hours. T is what? 24 hours. Solve it. MS get cancelled, G, ME, all the values you substitute, no? So we'll end up expression for this is 35,786 kilometers. This will call as altitude. Altitude, all of you, will measure from the surface of the earth. From the center of the earth, it will be H plus R. If a satellite is located at this much of height, at a height 35,786 kilometers from the surface of the earth, then it will remain geostationary.
Sir,
With what speed it will be moving? It will be moving with a speed of 3 kilometer per second.
sir, for calculation of centripetal force, we have to take R plus H, no?
Okay, so wait. Some omega square R plus H. Fine. H I am measuring from surface, no? Okay, thank you. Okay, it's a simple calculation, there's nothing big. So it will appear stationary, that one. Only at this side. Sir, what happens if it is at height of 20,000 kilometers? You definitely go for this one. As you increase H or this one, get expression for time period in terms of H and UC. It will not remain geostationary. We are bothered about geostationary. So what is the basic condition? The satellite should lie in equatorial plane. Height, if it is at a height, at specific height, then it will appear geostationary. If the height of satellite is less than 35,000 or more than 35,000, or this particular value of 35,786 kilometers, it will not appear geostationary. What do you mean geostationary? It will appear at rest. Means now few things like, sir, same thing like if there's a satellite, there's a Earth, and there's an equatorial plane. Let me launch satellite here. Can it be? What is the axis? This axis. The Earth is revolving about this axis. Now look at the orbit. How the orbit is. Red color I'll put orbit. Can it be geostationary? I'll give better diagram. There's a Earth. There's the axis about which the Earth rotating. Now, a student says that, sir, why can't this be geostationary like this? Satellite is going to be here. Can it be geostationary? Not possible, no. I think you know enough of circular motion. You know enough of circular motion. Not possible because there's an equator. Huh? There's an equator. There's a north pole, south, west, east. It is not equatorial plane. Am I right? So definitely, open the orbit must lie orbit of satellite. Sir, here also I took height. It cannot be geostationary. Say this person, the person is here. After some time, he'll be here. What about this satellite? It will be, there'll be relative motion. No? So shall I put in simplest way? Between the person and satellite, there won't be relative motion. Here, open, you take any person. Let me put that person here. I myself standing here. Will there be relative motion between the person and satellite? Yes, there will be a relative motion between satellite and person. Is it agree now? So no question of geostation. When geostation will be there, when there's no relative motion between a point on a surface and the satellite, then it will be geostation. Not possible. So strictly what should be the orbit? Orbit should lie in equatorial plane. These are small things they can ask you. You have to be careful. I'm seeing the satellite at rest or no relative motion between the person and the satellite. Okay, I'll just wind up because there's a very small thing is there. So chance of asking also. No, read the question. Just I picked up some problems from Pathfinder to explain some concepts. Here only. So this is the this axis about which the Earth is rotating, and we have equatorial plane. All of you, that colors I'm giving, able to analyze. There's the equatorial plane, and here is a satellite. And it is having angular velocity. That I'll show it here, or VS, I'll write it. So it is also having angular velocity. So he's telling now a satellite revolves in equatorial plane, west-east direction around the Earth with a period of 8 hours. At instant, it is observed vertically overhead a longitude. I think, okay, longitude, all of you. So you can take some reference points. So this will become like a longitude. After how much time will the satellite again be overhead the same longitude? So for that, what we should do? Calculate the angular velocity of satellite with respect to this one. Before that, let's calculate the like a omega s angular velocity of satellite with respect to Earth equal to this one. Omega s minus omega e. What is omega s? Let me do calculation here. Now, omega s equal to 2 pi by this one, 2 pi by t. Why negative? Because both are in same sense. Both are in same sense. So therefore, this will become 2 pi by time period of satellite 8 hours minus 2 pi by 24. So directly, and what is the relative? 2 pi by TAC will calculate. So everything will get TAC directly in terms of hours. Anybody? How much TAC will be? 12 hours. What do you mean by this? For every 12 hours, what happen again? It will encounter. Will it be geostationary? No. No, sir, what actually you're doing, we are not understanding. Okay, there be a person here with respect to this. Okay, let it be here. First, you will see at t equal to 0. After what time again you will see? After 12 hours. Again, be overhead. You will see exactly the satellite above his head. Again, after what time? Again after 12 hours. So for every 12 hours, this person is going to say what will be is coming. For every 12 hours, satellite will be visible only once, not like all the time. For 12 hours it will be visible. No, after how much minimum time will the satellite again be overhead? I think able to understand the English is matters here, nothing to do with our physics. Once in every 12 hours you will see, that's all over. Don't say that for 12 hours you will see. Once for every 12 hour I'm going to see that one. In a day, how many times? At T equals 0, now I'll see after 12 hour, then at the end of the day. Okay, fine. This is the meaning. Okay, now what happens if satellite revolves in opposite orbit? Here only let me finish off. Let me finish off here only. Now what will be its comment? What will be the comment from the person? For every 12 hours, I'm going to see satellite once. I think that should be the comment. For every 12 hours, I will see satellite for every 12 hours for time interval of 2 hours. I will see satellite once for every 12 hours. Okay, I agree this one. There's the meaning of that one. Same thing, the same problem. Let me just, what happens if satellite revolves in opposite sense? Okay, no, see that it will be like this. So here, shall we put like this? Actually, I should show omega s. You'll get confused. I'm bringing it here. And now the person is here. Now, what will be now for after what time interval you'll see? Don't think for 12 hours I'll see. No, for once in for every 12 hours I'll see. I think able to understand this. This language is very important here. In a day, I'll just see that now I'm seeing again 12 hours at the end of the day. So in a day, what happened? You can say better 2 times, because the moment you start, you should not count. Again, after what time you'll see that one at 12 hours, then means now say like at 9 o'clock. Okay, you started this at 9. Okay, you make it to start. Then again, when you'll see in the night 9 p.m. Again, tomorrow at 9 a.m., you're going to see this satellite. Only twice, no? Now this will be there's not of a question. Just I am telling that one. If it were in opposite sense, omega s, it will be 2 pi ts. If you can give the value,
6.
6 hours. Huh? Okay, now what do you mean by this? 6 hours in a day. How many times? Suppose at 9 we have started. Then again when 3 o'clock. Okay, again night 9 p.m. Then 3 a.m. Then again tomorrow 9 a.m. So 4 times it will be visible, no? Fine. Means if it is, this is some sort of satellite. So what happened? Which I am spy satellites. This called like a spy satellites. If I want to take photograph, if the time period of flight is 6 hours, if I send it to this one, no? So what will happen? In a day, only 4 times it can take photograph of certain specific point. Are you getting now? So we had some, what you can say, Pakistan, we went and attacked, no, surgical strike. So what is the difficulty here now? Now, if you want to take photograph, we have spy satellites. So what they do, in a day, only 4 times it's available. Like if you are launched like this, in a day only twice, it will take photograph, and that photograph you have to analyze. So like this, I can monitor Earth. But what is the problem with this such a satellites is like you don't get for all the time. That too, what happen? It is moving with a certain speed. You can calculate the speed, height, everything. So it will be moving with the speed again. So what is the duration of time or a region it will appear? because just only 6 after every 6 or for what duration of still means it all depends upon the region, how much of region you want to cover. All that matters here. I'm just putting here now. So now how many times the satellite will be ahead of the person, like again will be overhead the same longitude, means 4 times you can put it here, 2 times in a day. These are like spy satellites. They'll take a photograph of that region. So it all depends on satellites, how it revolves in the sense of the earth or opposite to sense of the earth. Then you can take this one. So in a day, so shall I put like this? In a day, this light will be visible for person 4 times. Just visible, that's all. And how much time it is visible? Maybe some fraction of time. Fraction means like 5, 6, 10 minutes, that one. It again depends upon the what region you want to take photograph. I will see selected for every 12 hours in a day, twice. Very good questions in a day, twice. Good questions will be asked. That's why I just took the idea this one. Okay, now we'll come out of this topic. We'll go for next one. Yeah. Carefully read the question. I'm bringing some very good questions based on some application of basic laws. How all that fundamental laws we can apply. Read the question. I'll have water. Okay, now getting to then. So draw the small diagram because I think at least the basic diagram is needed. So the two particles, they're particles. It appears a little bit big. Okay, this is they are separated, not connected by anything. Each of mass m, one is at rest, the other is given velocity v naught. Now this is the thing. So like a what is the center of mass? Center of mass will lie here. So center of mass should have velocity vc. And this is the initial. So let's discuss the problem in the. So what will happen to center of mass? It will have velocity. So this will be r naught by 2, r naught by 2. Then what is the velocity of center of mass? So velocity of center of mass should be equal to m v naught plus m into 0 m plus m. So v naught by 2. Then is there any interaction potential? Yes, it is. So it's telling for what range of velocity v naught will the masses be bound in orbital motion under their mutual gravitational force. Okay, go back to the basic idea. Can you remember in escape velocity I told you some binding energy? If the energy of system is less than or equal to 0, then it will be a closed one, no? Bound in orbital motion. So when it will be bounded, when the energy of the system, if it is less than or equal to 0, it will become closed orbit. Then the bound system. If the energy of system is greater than or equal to 0, it will be like a open system, that one. So for it to be bound, the total energy should be less than that one here. So how to introduce that one? So what all that initial kinetic energy we give, a part of it will be converted into kinetic energy of center of mass. Remaining will be the binding energy. Binding energy is nothing but interaction potential. What is the kinetic energy of center of mass? Mass of system 2m off into 2m velocity of center of mass plus what do you mean by binding energy? The interaction potential energy, and it is equal to gmm by r naught. Okay, this will become mv naught square by 2 m v naught square by 4 plus gmm r naught. So this will become mv naught square by 2. One m get cancels, or let me write one more step. So what is v naught? V naught I'm getting is equal to how much? This will be 1 by 4. V naught equal to, I'll get it as 4 gm by r naught. Okay, so now fine. So what should be this? What all kinetic energy we give should be the speed if it is v naught less than, I think, okay, this 2 I'll take outside because he's asking. If it is less than 2 g m r naught will be a bound system. If v naught is greater than 2 g m r naught, so then it will escape to infinity. The particles will not get bound. Okay, there's a one basic condition is what is putting that one. And now you can ask question like, sir, how do you can justify this condition? How do we can justify this condition? How do we can justify this particular condition? Means how do you can say, sir, bound or that particular thing? So here, finally, when you give velocity, they should revolve about a common center. They should revolve about the common center. And what all the kinetic energy what we supply, a part of that energy should be utilized for them to rotate about center of mass. And what is the kinetic energy of center of mass? Kcm plus remaining open is utilized for binding them. And this binding energy is what is given this one. If the kinetic energy given is greater than this, they'll escape to infinity. Means the separation between them, they cannot form a closed system. If the kinetic energy supplied is equal to Kcm plus binding energy, then what happens? They'll become a bounded system. Is asking bound in orbital motion. Means finally what happens? They should revolve about common center. There is a center of mass. Sir, how do they can revolve? I have one more problem. There we'll discuss in detail that one.
Sir,
Okay, just I know plenty of unable to understand anything. Three problems in a row. I'm taking that one. After end of three problems, you can clarify your doubt. Okay, now read one more. At a stretch, three problems I brought it so that you just see one by one. Okay, read again the same idea, based on the same idea. Will not be bound. What should be the minimum kinetic in that one? Again, the shall we proceed like this? What all the kinetic energy will supply? So first, what is the diagram? Two identical particles A and B. They are like this. These are A and B. Then we have like this. Then another particle is kept here and it is projected with a speed v0. This is a particle C. Rigidly attached at the end of light rod. Okay, fine. Now, and the other two are similar to this. For what range of velocity v0 will the particles be bound under their will the particles be bound under their mutual gravitational forces? Will not be bound. For what range of velocity v0 will the particles be bound under their mutual gravitational force? Okay, that one. And if the velocity is greater than that, they don't get bound. If the speed of the projected particle is less than that, they'll get bound. Okay, we'll just do equate things. Then greater than, less than, from that, we can make it. No, again, what is the basic idea here? So what all we supply energy, a part of that for kinetic energy of center of mass of system, remaining should be go for the binding energy. What is the binding energy of system? With what energy the particle will get binded to the system. So this is L, no, is given. So 2G, okay, for first kinetic energy of center of mass. How to bring kinetic energy of center of mass? Kinetic energy of center of mass should be equal to m v naught by 3m v naught by 3. So kinetic energy of center of mass of system off into 3m vcm square plus binding energy. So with what energy it will be binded? 2gm square L. So 3m by 2. What is VCM? V naught by 3 whole square. So this will be 2gm square L. What is the minimum kinetic energy I'm giving? M V naught square by 2. Solving this, we'll get expression 6. I solved it. I ended up this much. 6 gm by L. That L or R naught, what is taken? R naught. Let me change here. No, for what range of velocity v naught will the particles be bound under mutual gravitational force? So what should be the speed? If it is greater than this, they don't get bound. No, if it is less than this, if it is less than this, they'll get bound. So what option shall I pick up? Should not be bound means definitely what happen? R naught or L. Okay, because R again you'll get confused. Radius something, no? Just I made it L, that one. What is the basic necessity condition we should follow here? Should get bound, should not get bound, no? So there's a minimum kinetic energy, minimum speed what we can put. If it is speed greater than this, they'll not get bound. If the speed is less than or equal to, they'll get bound here. So shall we take less than or equal to or less than? Again, one more option C and D is what we have to fight it. So between C and D, what option should be picked up? Shall I take option C? No, no, no. Option C or D. See, this is ruled out. Huh? So less than or equal to or less than. What we have to pick up? Less than. No, if it's less than, it get bounded. If it is equal to, what happen? They just it will not be a bound system. If it's greater than that, definitely what happen? They will escape to infinity. So therefore, it should be the less than. No? There's a minimum speed that one. If it is a speed greater than this, they don't get bound. Equal to this, again they just reach infinity. If it is greater than this, even at infinity, they'll have some kinetic energy. So why that minimum I brought it? Are you getting no? If I project with a speed more than this value, heads after getting separate to infinity, at infinity, they'll have again some kinetic energy. So therefore, I started with the minimum. Escape velocity ideas is what I'm bringing here. In escape velocity, what happened? The Earth was at rest. That's why we didn't bother all this one. So here, what happened? Even this and both will be moving. When you project it, no, this will move. This rod plus this particles A and B will move, and this also will move. See, like, shall I put it simplest way, sir? Why you are discussing all this? If it is the rod AB with a fixed here, tell me what will happen to this one? This will become zero, no? Think about only this one. If since this is also moving, no, then you have to bring this into picture. That's all, finish. I don't want to talk much anything bigger than this one. What we discussed, escape velocity, the idea was like this. What about Earth? Earth was fixed here. Even now we are doing a problem where this Earth is also mobile. If Earth is also mobile, then you should discuss this one. If this is fixed here, then with what kinetic energy you should project? You should project with a kinetic energy equal to binding energy. Getting the idea? You are to analyze. You are not analyzing. That is the problem. In most of the escape velocity problems, we made that particular system. What happened? It was to be a test. Only what happened? The kinetic energy what you project, if it escapes to infinity, or fine, fine. So what kinetic energy equal to binding energy in that case? Here what happened? Even this Earth, if it can move, then the kinetic energy of system has to be brought into picture. At least I think now you got certain idea. Now take this one.
Sir, what will be the subsequent motion?
Subsequent motion, let's not bother. Again, will be we have to get into mathematics. No, not possible. Now read the question. The same ideas once again I'm bringing in a little bit systematic way here. Two equal masses are situated at separation r naught. One of them is imparted a velocity v naught. I will start the discussion from here. So this is the particle. They're only particle, no? We'll put it like this. So initially they are separated by a certain distance. R naught is given. This is a test. And this is given velocity V naught. Both are having mass m. We will see this person on the ground, in ground frame. In center of mass frame, so where the center of mass of system will be here. So in center of mass of frame, we'll see this. There's the same problem in C frame. Center of mass will be moving with a velocity Vc, and where the center of mass will be at a distance r0 by 2. At a distance r0 by 2. So what is the velocity of this? V1c. Velocity of this will be V2c. How it is? Okay, let's calculate velocity of center of mass. Velocity of center of mass will be mv0 m plus m v0 by 2. Then this is the velocity. So what is the velocity of one? This let me call particle 1. This is particle. I'll give number. So what is v1c? v1 minus vc. v1 is v0 by 2. So with respect to center of mass, it will be moving along positive axis. What about the particle 2? How do it will move in C frame? V2c equal to V2 minus Vc. What is V2? Velocity of particle with respect to ground. So some of you are asking, sir, what is V1? Shall I write? With respect to ground. Because I should not bring ground here, some inertial frame. Free to move mutual gravitational force. So there we are not doing this experiment on the earth. So therefore I should not use word ground. That's why I'm trying to avoid. Okay, fine. Okay, I should have, if I had done this on the ground, okay, then gravity will come into picture. That's why I'm not bringing the ground. With respect to some inertial frame, better you put it. Okay, this is V2 will be 0. It was at rest, no? Then V0 by 2. So in C frame, how do it will move? Backward, no? And what is that? Minus V0 by 2. So if in center of mass frame, how the particles will have motion with respect to center of mass, they'll start rotating, no? Then finally what will happen? I see that they'll get binded to each other. They'll rotate about the center of mass, will be moving with a velocity Vc, and they will rotate about center of mass. And the separation will be r by 2, r by 2. This is a particle 1, this is a particle 2. This will be final. This is the initial. Initial, better say in lab frame. This is the initial in C frame. What is that minimum and maximum separation? So that value of R is asking. So we'll agree this. Finally, what will happen? I'm saying that this is the final, sir. You have to now ask me, sir, on what basis you are saying that this will be the final situation. They'll rotate about common center. On what basis? How do you can justify this? Say like, what is the net force acting on system? What is the net force acting on system? 0. So what is the initial velocity of center of mass? That should be the final velocity. Okay, I agree this. Then afterwards, so there was no rotational kinetic energy. You gave rotational kinetic energy. Why do they start rotating? Finally, you see that because of gravity, attractive force, and velocity, how the path of particle 1, it will try to move like this. Agree this? Then sir, here only force is there. As only force, it will try to move like this here. Then this particle will be here, no? So I think just to help students, So it will try to move like this. This will try to move. When the particle comes here, it will exert a force in this direction. Now, because of force and velocity, because earlier the force it has acquired some, because of force and velocity, it will try to move. So like that, what happen? They'll start rotating about common center, and finally this will be the situation that will arise. Okay, what makes them to rotate about center of mass is you have to work out from kinematics here. Force, velocity, it will try to move. Here initially only force, I agree, because this is attraction only force. But the moment this particle one starts coming here, no, it coming here. So how the direction of force? Force will come like this, and it had a velocity like this. So it will try to move like this, somewhere here. So like that, what happen? Finally, what happen? They'll rotate about a common center of mass here. So what is our question? This minimum and maximum separation is asking how to bring that. From where this I brought, shall I say, conservation of linear momentum, because I'm just interested how I am using basic laws. That's all. That is the main purpose of learning this problem. How all basic laws we are going to apply it. I'm telling the hint. What is the hint to do this problem? Apply basic laws. What are basic laws? Conservation of linear term, conservation of angular term, conservation of mechanical energy, orbital motion. No, angular momentum. About what point I should conserve angular momentum? About center of mass. So now initial angular momentum with respect to center of mass it is. Now what is initial angular momentum? What is the velocity with respect to center of mass it is? Not with respect to ground. I am writing clear. This is something you go wrong very badly here if you don't write anything here. In C frame, what is the initial angular momentum? A first particle mv0 by 2 r0 by 2. That's all, no? Both are having in same sense. Finally, what will happen to finally? Finally, it will be IC omega C. So therefore, the omega C, how it should be? It should be the anti-clockwise. Justified. Why to show omega C like that only? Because if you calculate initial angular momentum, the initial angular momentum is counterclockwise. So the final angular momentum should be counterclockwise. So therefore, the omega C, looking at this, I am putting in the direction. Justified the diagram, why it is. Okay, now come for this. I think this should be mv0 r by 2. Now, what is IC? Moment of inertia. 2 times of m r by 2 whole square into omega c. So this will be m get cancelled. So v naught omega c equal to v naught r naught by r square. Okay, this is from conservation of angular momentum. What is this force, attractive force that is acting between them? What it is? It's a conservative force. Can I apply conservation of mechanical energy? Yes, very much. By applying conservation of mechanical energy, what is the initial energy of system? Okay, I think the different things, no, I'll put in the idea, because different ideas we are introducing here. Now, I'm going for conservation of mechanical energy. Initial kinetic energy of system, mv naught square by 2. Initial interaction potential energy, mgm square gm square r naught is equal to, finally, what is the interaction potential energy? Minus gm square r plus kinetic energy of center of mass, 2m by 2 vc square plus rotational kinetic energy about center of mass. So do we know omega c? Yes. Do we know vc? Substituting all, we'll get it. And moreover, v naught is given under root of g m r naught. Substituting all. So I think I'll give equations. This is equation 1, equation 2, and given is what? Root of g m r naught. Okay, the equation. Okay, I'll start from here. 1. Okay, I think substituting all will get R in terms of R naught, because finally our question is to find out that R. Everything will get eliminated. Okay, no, so there's equation 4. Put 1, 2, 3 in 4. So what is this equation? It is based on conservation of mechanical energy. Substituting all this, I'll directly write it because I think some lengthy calculations are there. Later on you check it, plus R naught square equal to 0. There's a quadratic equation I ended up. So solving this, I'll get expression for R 4 R naught plus or minus 2 R naught by 6. So one value of R is R naught, other value is R naught by 3. What answer shall I pick up? Initially separation was R naught, no? Final separation what penny? Shall we take this is R naught by 3? And what is the maximum separation? The initial separation was maximum R naught. And the final separation is what? R naught by 3. That is the minimum. So therefore, this is the minimum. So what is the maximum value? The initial separation is what the maximum permitted value. You do calculation later on. That I just wanted that loss, how you have to apply it. Again, there's nothing but I am using Kepler's first law only. If the total energy is negative, it will be bound system. If it is greater than 0, it will be unbound system, open orbits. That's what we are trying to stress this one. No, this is the question. Read it. I'll tell you the history of this question. So see, I'm picking up all these problems, not something like to impress you people. How this binary star system are formed, what make the stars to revolve. We will project that velocity V naught is inside that what happens, some bang will occur. From the core of the core of the star, if it gets blasted, what happens? Due to that, it will impart velocity. What happens if another nearby star is there? So will they form a binary star system? Yes. How the binary star systems have come into picture, there's a reason. So all these are something related to astronomical, that one. We are giving suitable scientific reason, like how binary star system are formed. What make the two stars to revolve about common center, and how do they come into existence? How that creation occurred is what we are giving explanation. How that velocity V naught has come due to some like a natural phenomena due to Big Bang. Also, I should use word Big Bang only for universe, not for any star. When the core of the star, what happens if it suddenly explodes, and if it ejects some any mass, no, it may acquire some velocity V naught. And that we are discussing. So this is nothing but a problem based on the binary star system, how it has come into existence. It may appear for you as very simple. For astronomers, this is something very important. Okay, similarly, this is problem based on the Big Bang theorem, the science what happened. We do learn a lot, no, Big Bang. So I picked up a one best numerical to justify, in fact, Big Bang occurred. And the universe, in fact, it is expanding, is what we have this particular thing. So what the scientific data, what we see, no, to justify that, we have a numerical. We finally, the centripetal force is not coming to be equal to gravitational force. I think when you're calculating the centripetal force, you have not considered the Relative angular velocity. Okay, Arman, check it once. Like how we did velocity of satellite and Earth, no? Like that is what you have to take it here. Okay, now come for this. This is a Big Bang one. Read the question. This will be the last problem from Pathfinder, which I am troubling. Okay, afterwards we'll go for our typical problems. Is not saying universe, so I'm just saying that why universe expands, everything we have. No, I'm just taking help of with help of the asteroid. An asteroid of mass m explodes into spherical homogeneous cloud in free space. Due to energy received by the explosion, the cloud expands and the expansion is spherically symmetric at an instant when radius of the cloud is r0. All of its particles on the surface are observed receding radially. What do you mean by receding? Moving away from the center of the cloud with a velocity v0. What will the radius of the cloud be when its expansion ceases? Initially, asteroid is at rest, it will expand. The question is like this. This O will be at rest, no? Asteroid of mass m explodes. So initially asteroid will be at rest. It will explode here. Then as it explodes, so what is this? I think cloud, no? Yeah. Again, you'll start. Relative angular velocity is what you have to take it. Herman, like what you're writing equations, no, there. Take help of relative angular velocity. I think, okay, fine. Yeah. Okay, this is this is the is telling when radius of the cloud is r naught. The different point and that particular, they'll be moving with a velocity v. Okay, agree this. So this is what telling. Now, what is asking? What will the radius of the cloud be when its expansion ceases? V naught. Sorry. This is V naught. Spherically symmetric, but it will not occur spherically symmetric. We are to make our problem simple. I'm taking the spherical symmetric here. Now after this, I will. So this is a what the data given. Okay, let me assume there's a layer. So is it a disk or is it a sphere? Now anybody, is it a disk or a sphere? It's a sphere. Huh? I think the 3D diagram not possible. Now there's a layer I'm taking. Let me consider, no? So let this be radius r smaller. Let the velocity speed of this be v. and this is R naught. So this, shall we call this as like a thin shell, of radius R, thickness dr. So according to the given data, V naught by R naught equal to V by R. So what is V equal to? V naught by R naught by small r. He has not given much information. I'm just assuming some linear relationship. You may question this, sir, how you can say that one. He has not given anything, we'll go for linear. Or the speed of different layers, the speed of different layers will be different. So why can't all the layers will have same speed? So like I think the very simplest I took, the point O will be a test. This layer moving, this point O, the midpoint of the cloud will be at rest. Then this layer is moving with a speed V naught. Means what should happen to this speed? Should increase here, no? So therefore, I'm taking the speed of any layer, let it be V. If he has further said anything about how the speed of different layers vary, some equation given, you could have chosen that equation. He has not said anything. We are going to take linear. You can take it for granted. Sir, in exam, you can take it for linear because nothing information available. Because one more thing, it was a test. This layer moving with speed V naught means you should go for linear. If it is not linear, you would have mentioned. Okay, don't scold me, sir, for sake of answer. You are assuming like this because that's the only condition available for me. Sir, it may vary exponentially. It may vary that one. Okay, I assume that you solve it, you will not get answer. What I assumed is it was reaching to the answer. I'm just defending myself. Okay, it's see, like I'm assuming linear that one, but it's need not. If I said anything how that variation occurs, you would have taken that one. Okay, fine. So don't scold me that, sir. Why only you took like this? It can happen anything. Let this be one of the possible situation. The speed of the layers. Okay, now what to do now? What he's asking. So what will the radius of the cloud be when its expansion ceases? What do you mean by expansion ceases? What should happen now? Finally, what happened the cloud? What should happen to cloud? All the points on a cloud should come to rest. That's what, no? Finally. Finally, all the points in the cloud should come to rest. What was the mass? It was m. There's a cloud. Rest. All particles. Expansion ceases. Is asking this x. This x is unknown. We have to find out here. Okay, I agree this. So I think this is a diagram. What we have, say initial. There's a final. Okay, how to bring the text from where to bring? So I am just taking help of the conservation of mechanical energy because there's the only thing it's going to help us. So what all form here energy is available in the form of interaction potential energy or energy of the system. Sorry, energy of the system, self energy of system. I write USI plus initial kinetic energy, final energy of the system plus final kinetic energy, and it is finally all particles are at rest. This will be zero. What is initial self energy? Minus 3 by 5 g m square. What is the radius of this r? No, can you remember yesterday's discussion? Plus what is the kinetic energy? This I don't know. I'm going to calculate. Ki. What is the final self energy? 3 by 5 g m square by r, and it is 0. Okay, fine. All particles are at rest. Okay, this is x. So what is our entire discussion now? The entire discussion is what? To get that initial kinetic energy, no? How to bring that kinetic energy here? Different particles are having different speed. So first we'll calculate the kinetic energy of the layer of thin shell of radius r, thickness dr. The mass of this, let it be dm. So first kinetic energy of tin shell dk is equal to dm v square by 2. What is dm? Rho 4 pi r square dr by 2. What is v? V, I'll write it as v naught r naught small r whole square. Now proceeding to the, we'll integrate. So what should be the value finally? Initial kinetic energy, this will be rho 4 pi 2 pi will come, no? So 2 pi rho v naught square r naught square r to power of 4 dr 0 to capital R, you write it. Don't add 0 to x. For this diagram only you are calculating it. Simplifying this, so we'll end up with 2 pi rho v naught square r naught square r naught, no? So r naught to the power of 5 by 5. Okay, that value substitute here and solve. So what is a rho? Rho, what you should write? M by 4 by 3 pi r naught cube. At that instant, substitute all this, you'll get initial kinetic energy and substitute also the rho here. Solve for x, you'll get the required answer. What is V? Speed of a layer of radius r. What is V naught? Speed of a layer of a radius r naught. I'll write down the answer. Go for calculation afterwards. 2gm r naught just the idea of self energy, but this is something, leave all these mathematics. This is something related to the universe expands, Big Bang occurred, how that explodes. Something what happened, they wanted to introduce students at this level, the idea of the Big Bang. The idea of the Big Bang, why universe expands, sir? Anybody asks? Yes, we have a suitable explanation here, no? And one fine day, what will happen? How that same dissolution of universe will occur? One fine day, what will happen when all the particles of the cloud, if they come to rest, again due to mutual gravitational attractive force, the whole universe starts contracting. And one fine day, what happen? It will become a dot. Again, after some duration of time, again it explodes. Like that, what happen? This explosion, expansion, then coming to instantaneous rest, then contraction, then again becoming a dot. This is a cyclic process that is going on for billions of times. This is nature's phenomena is what the science is telling. Where is a God? Question of no God, no Allah, no Almighty, or no Bhagwan. The science is telling like this. But since I read scriptures, okay, as a physics teacher, I'll accept it. From where this asteroid has come, science is unable to answer. What made that asteroid to explode, science is unable to answer. So definitely in scriptures, there is some explanation is there. Okay, we have to go further. I think I don't have, or we don't have that much of spiritual power to really analyze to depth here. But as a physics teacher, yes, we can give some extent. So the scientific community, what is telling us, there's a nature's phenomena. So no question of God. So we know God. That's what they're telling. But how that, what makes it to explode, we don't know. So these are all some things are there. Just as a student, I think I must introduce to this also. It's a part of gravitation chapter because self energy has come. Okay, if you're interested, you can read Big Bang. So now you got idea. Universe is expanding. So think about this like a universe of mass m. The universe is expanding. So how it can expand, sir? Again, it contracts. How it contracts? Then dissolution. Dissolution means everything again will get contracted and again it'll become a dot. So from dot, it will expand, will again finally come to instant rest. Again, it starts contracting. We are in expansion state. Then contraction state. So that's what the science is telling here. Okay, let's go for next things. Okay, we'll come to our Kepler's law. Read this question. A space vehicle of mass 300 kg in circular orbit of radius 2 RE above the Earth. It is desired to transfer vehicle to a circular orbit of radius 4 RE. What is the minimum energy required for transfer? If the transfer is accomplished to an elliptical orbit as shown, what initial and final velocity changes are required? And how much of energy also needed? Okay, I think this, okay, don't bother. Now come out of that all universe Big Bang theory. This is our similar typical problem. Through elliptical orbit, I think this condition is very important. So as a teacher, I should create interest in the subject. That's why I picked up some very good problems today. It's not a gravitation is a dead chapter. It's a very beautiful chapter where it will give us the idea of more creation, how this creation of Earth begins everything. Read very fast. I think within 5 minutes you can conclude this problem. First, we'll calculate what is orbital speed. I think first I'll give a good diagram because it needs a diagram here. Okay, my diagrams got over. Then, yeah, fine. Now, this is the reference line. We'll take it. Initially, the planet is here. Oh, sorry, the satellite is here. It has to be taken to okay, so some correction is needed. Okay, the satellite is here. It has to be driven to where like a to the higher orbit here. So what is the transfer orbit? The transfer orbit will be, so let me oh, and the satellite finally it has to reach here. This is like a elliptical orbit or transfer orbit, what you can call that one. It may not appear. It has to leave that particular thing. It has to leave that orbit. So some rough diagram I'm putting. I think that this will be better one. Elliptical orbit. So with the sun, with the Earth as one of the foci. This will take 0.1, 0.2. Here orbital speed, it will have V naught.
Sir, there he gave it will go beyond its circular orbit, sir.
No, to show that ellipse, I had to bring it. No, otherwise your diagram will become. Okay, then. Okay, you want. It will go beyond to show that it's ellipse. It will not appear like ellipse. Huh? We should draw a big diagram, no? So therefore I just made like this. Okay, your wish. I changed it. Huh? So there's a transfer orbit. Now come for this one. There's orbital speed v naught a. I'll write it. This orbit a. This will be v naught b. So finally we have to transfer to there that one. Now how to get into this one? So first we'll calculate that orbital speeds. Or we'll do one thing. We'll use perigee, apogee. No, I think this is p. This is e. Let this be 1. This be 2. So first, what is orbital speed v1? v1 should be equal to g into mass of Earth into 2re. Radius is 2re. Radius of this is 4re. Now what is v2? We have to calculate this. So if you write this is in terms of GRE by 2, so this will be GRE by 4. Okay, I agree this. And we know value of GRE, orbital speed, or all that one, radius of the Earth, everything is given. Substituting that, I'll get this orbital speed V1 5656 meter per second. I think I use it calculator. Huh? If you want, you can check it. These are the orbital speeds. Okay, now what has to be done? It has to be transferred from lower orbit to higher orbit. So for that, I should make this from, so the orbital from circular orbit, I should make it to elliptical, no? Because this is elliptical. And where that is telling, this should be the perigee and this should be apogee. Hypo, I think. Okay, this one. Perigee, which is near, or perihelion, aphelion. So from perihelion should lie on the lower orbit and aphelion should lie on the higher orbit. Okay, the relation between VP and this one. So this distance is how much? 2RE. Or PO, what is PO? PO is 2RE. And what is OA? OA is 4RE. And what is the velocity of that particular at perihelion should be? VP. At aphelion, it should be VA. What should be the VP, VA, any relationship? From the VP into PO, you directly come to Kepler's law of planetary motion. VP into PO should be equal to VA into OA. So this is VP, this is 2RE, 4RE. So VP is equal to 2VA. So there's the one equation what we have. Next, we'll apply conservation of mechanical energy between perigee and apogee. Half M VP square GME mass of satellite. Okay, MM we have took 2RE. Don't get scared, nothing is there. Conservation of mechanical energy, conservation of angular momentum. Substituting this, I think we'll get relation between VP and VA. And we know also the what happened RE and M, what to do with GME. GME you can write in terms of V1. Okay, there's I'll write it VA. You have to verify this. I think I did calculator. I checked it. I don't know. This will be 2 times of this will be 6532. This will be the speed of the satellite at this particular thing. Okay, now I think it's quite clear. Huh? What was the orbital speed of the satellite in the lower orbit? 5656 meter, 5656. Then to leave that orbit, what you should do? You should make the velocity how much? 6532 meter per second. You should increase, no? You should fire there the rocket so that its speed should increase. By the time it perigee comes, you should have this much of velocity. If they, and what is VP? VP greater than V1. So shall I say it will leave circular orbit? Can you remember yesterday's? So like a day before yesterday, we have discussed this one. If the velocity of the satellite, if it is greater than V orbit, then it's going to describe elliptical orbit. With Earth, one of the foci, and the point where you are giving that velocity, that will become perigee. If you make the velocity of satellite less than orbital speed, then this will become apogee. The other point will become perigee. You have to recollect, sir, why you are choosing like this. I think justified. VP greater than V1. So the diagram is justified. The point where you are increasing the velocity of the satellite in the first orbit, which should be perigee, because VP greater than V1. Okay, I got this one. Now, what is orbital speed? 4000 meter per second. But what is the velocity of satellite when it arrives here at apogee? 3266. So what shall I do? I should increase speed. No, again, I should boost up the rocket. You can ask questions, sir. Why don't you directly launch from year to year, finish your headache? You have to spend a lot of energy. You have to spend a lot of energy. Rocket should be more powerful. So therefore, first I launch to the lower orbit. Then I'll put in transfer orbit. Again, here, if what energy I spent here and here, that will be very much less compared to what energy I needed to send from the center to this particular point, or from surface to this point. Are you with that one? To make it more economical. So if you see that one, suppose say to launch directly from, let's say from center to here, it will cost you 600 crores. Here what mean we may end up with only around 100 crores by using this method. So 500 crores you are going to save, no? Because the fuel is very costly. Rocket fuel is very costly, and the material, everything. That's why we go for this. Rather than saying elliptical, no? Elliptical or call transfer orbit. Okay, now what are the changes? What is the minimum energy required for the transfer? So what shall I do for minimum energy required for transfer? So shall we write that minimum energy like this? What was the energy needed at perigee? Of m Vp square. Then of m V1 square plus of m V2 square of m Va square. Why I should subtract? This much of energy should be given at perigee. Or Ferilion they say, but in brief I'm saying apogee, that one. Ferilion, it becomes a little bit lengthy to pronounce also. Perigee, apogee. This will be a little bit easy, no? At apogee, what when you should supply this much of energy, at perigee, this much of energy, that one. Okay, I agree this. So this also you check it. I'm giving 2.4 into 10 to the power of 9 joules, which will be far less than launching the satellite from here to here, from the surface to this one. This will be far less. What are other things like? If the transfer is to an elliptical orbit as shown in figure, what initial and final velocity changes are required? I think, okay, at perigee, what level? It should be Vp minus V1. At apogee, V2 minus Va. So what are the changes? At perigee, V2 minus V1, V2 minus Va. Okay, you do calculate. This is simple. Okay, questions can be asked in advance. Huh? You have to be careful. It's just simple idea. Nothing is there. So do remember that elliptical orbit, what we used, this is based on conservation of angular momentum. I wrote in different colors so that you can manage things very easily. Conservation of energy, conservation of angular momentum. Whenever elliptical orbit comes, these are the only two things are there, nothing big. We'll go for the next one. Let me, still plenty of problems there. Let me discuss this. This is something very useful for you. Already we have had this alpha is with respect to V naught. Diagram, some small changes I'll make it, some corrections are needed. Read the question. Oh. It should be like this. Now it is moving in circular orbit. A satellite projected in space with a velocity v naught at a distance r naught from the center of the Earth. By the last stage of its launching rocket, the velocity v naught was designed to send the satellite into a circular orbit of radius r naught. Okay, fine. However, owing to a malfunction of control, the satellite is not projected horizontal but at an angle alpha with the horizontal. And as a result, it is propelled into elliptical orbit. Determine the maximum and minimum values of the distance from the center of the Earth to the satellite. Okay, what is they are able to understand the question? Actually, the satellite was designed to move in a circular orbit. It was designed to move in a circular orbit only. But due to malfunction, what will happen? It was not projected horizontally, but it was projected at an angle alpha with respect to horizontal. And because of that, what happens? It's going to describe an elliptical orbit. It's asking that maximum minimum distance. Able to understand the question? So I think small mistake, no? It should be V naught should be horizontal, but some angle has come into picture, and because of that, it's going to describe elliptical orbit. I think only what is V naught? First, V naught is what? Relationship between V naught, G mass of Earth by R naught. This is one equation. Orbital speed in circular orbit for circular orbit. Then let me apply conservation of angular momentum. When it arrives here, let it have a speed v1. It's not given, I'm assuming, because again drawing diagram. Agree this. So let me apply conservation of angular momentum. mv naught r naught cos alpha, justify. mv naught r naught cos alpha or mv naught r naught sin alpha. Tell me like what you suggest. Cos alpha, sin alpha. Cos alpha only, no? Because to consider angular momentum, mv naught r naught cos alpha should be equal to m. What is m? Mass of the satellite here. Should be equal to mv1 r max. And this should be equal to also mv2 r minimum. Then apply conservation of mechanical energy minus gmem r naught plus m v naught square by 2 equal to minus gmem r max plus m v1 square by 2. v1 and r max are unknown. Two equations, two unknown. Solving that will get v1 and r max. But again, so what is another thing, like we don't know v2 and r minimum. Determine the maximum and minimum values of distance from that one. Okay, I'll get R max. Then what about R minimum? Again, you apply conservation of mechanical energy between the apogee and perigee. Already we have. Once again, I'll show it. Then minus G M E M. Okay, fine. Solving this, we'll get the required answer. I'll write it down. You just check once. Huh? Because usually we have a routine of writing like this only. It can be written elliptical orbit, that one. We'll discuss tomorrow, no problem. No, one more good question is there. We'll finish off this. Complete question you are able to read? Fine. I'm testing you again your circular motion. Huh? Assume that there's a tunnel in the shape of a circular arc to the earth. Wall of the tunnel is smooth. Where is the tunnel? There's a tunnel. The blue color is a tunnel. A ball of mass is projected into the tunnel at A with a speed v. The ball comes out of the tunnel at B and escapes out of the gravity of the earth. M and R is given. Radius of circular shape tunnel is also R. So radius of this is R. For our reference, take this one. Find the minimum possible value of it. Call it V naught. It should escape. You'll be don't bother. Say either if your project from A or B, it doesn't matter. No. What is the escape velocity? Root 2 gm by r. At B, what energy it should have at B? Now, first of all, what is the speed of the particle at A and B? Will it be same? I do say it will be same. When it moves from A to B, what happened? Work done by the gravity. Let's do one thing. Work done by the gravitational force in moving particle from A to B. Is it okay if I write E is a gravitational field should be equal to mass into potential it is VA minus VB. What is the potential at A and B? It is zero. Oh, sorry, equal. Can you remember? Potential on the surface of the earth minus Gm by R. Me is mass of the earth. Capital M. We took mass of particle, M naught will write it. M naught, I'm writing is that formula, can you remember? Work done in moving a particle by electrostatic by gravitational field from A to B equal to mass of the particle into VA minus V. If external agent, it will become reverse. Now let's get into this one. So what is the potential at A and B is same. So therefore no work done. So therefore what is the kinetic energy of the particle at A? It will be same at B. K equal to KB. And this kinetic energy should be equal to what? The binding energy. So therefore here kinetic energy at B minus G M naught by R should be equal to 0 to escape to infinity. So what is the escape speed? M naught minus G M naught R. So shall we take this? 2gm by r. This is the escape speed. Find the minimum possible value of v. Call v naught is telling. If the ball is projecting tunnel with a speed v naught, with this much of speed v naught, calculate the normal force applied by the tunnel. So when it arrives at the tunnel, how the forces will be acting. This is a tunnel. It's a very simple question. Just only student has to get back to the basic circular motion. And this tunnel is at a distance r by 2. Tell me like how the what are the forces they'll be acting here? The particular ball will be in contact with this particular wall. The normal contact will be like this. That will be acting towards center. And the gravitational attractive force will be like this. And it will have a velocity, say v. Here it was projected with a speed v naught. So when it arrives here, it will have a speed v. We don't know that. That has to be calculated. So what is the equation now? Fe minus n shall I write, or n minus Fe? It is not rotating about O, it is rotating about some center C. Is it okay? So look at the circular path. This is the circular path, no? I think I'll put it here now. So about what point it is rotating? About C, not O. That's what this question is. So in the tunnel, what is that ball? In the tunnel, the ball is revolving about C. Better you say that one. It's revolving about C. In the tunnel, the ball is revolving about C, not about O. So therefore, I'll write equation n minus what is the thing? We don't know potential there, no? So let me call this as point P. So what is the potential? So sorry, we don't know their velocity of the particle. Let it be V. How to calculate that velocity? Can we apply conservation of mechanical energy? Yes. Here kinetic energy plus interaction potential. When it is here, kinetic energy, interaction potential energy. But we don't know potential at this point, no? Yes, we'll calculate what is there in that. So how to do we know potential at point P? Can we determine? Yes, what is the formula for that? I'll confine everything in this here only. Yeah, we'll write the equation, no? Is it just fine? What is Fe? First of all, Fe will write it. Fe is equal to G capital M R by 2 R cube into mass of particle M naught. Why this R by 2? At a distance x, what is the gravitational friction inside the solid sphere? Inside the solid sphere, gm small r or x by r cube. So at what distance the point P is from O, r by 2, that I'm putting. This is the force. So now somehow we should get V. I'll apply conservation of mechanical energy between A and P. So UA plus K equal to UP plus KP. So what is UA? Interaction potential energy minus GM M naught R plus M naught V naught square by 2. Speed of the particle at A is V naught, no? Is equal to interaction potential at this point. We don't know potential at point P. How to calculate? Gm 2r cube will I agree this formula? Gm by 2r cube small r square minus 3 capital R square into M naught. The sign will come from calculations. Am I right? We know to put again negative sign here. Plus m naught v square. Solve for this, you'll get the v. That value you substitute, you'll get the n. This quantity is very important. What is this? Potential at point P due to the earth. So these are the best ways of asking question for you. I'm telling this one. Okay, here not it should be R. I wrote 2. Yeah. It has become practice, no? mv square by 2, mv square by 2. Shall I go for next question? Do calculation. I'll update the answer later on. Huh? Okay, this one. If there is when a satellite in circular orbit around the Earth enters the atmospheric region, it encounters small air resistance to its motion. Then is asking what will happen on. Okay, this is the Earth. There's a very good problem. You should not analyze logically with your basic concepts. Huh? You should not just manipulate things here, at least such problems. So there's the orbit. Okay, we'll put it circle. It was supposed to revolve in circular orbit. So this is the initial circular orbit. This is the orbit. So what is the speed? Let's assume that orbital speed. You don't need to write it. R naught. It is having a speed v naught. It will encounter a resistance. A resistance will come. What will happen to the path? The path is going to be spiral. A perfect, I think, shape may not come. How many rounds? It all depends upon the resistance offered by it. How many rounds it will make it? This one. This called like a spiral it is. So it will be of this thing. Now he's asking about all the things now. So this is without a resistance. Path. Okay, let's directly get into the discussion now. How to analyze this problem? Shall we make a guess of things, or shall we really bring some mathematical proof? What is air resistance? Viscous drag, no? Air resistance nothing but viscous drag. A viscous drag will be there. They'll be acting on the satellite at all the positions. Now, because of that, air drag is there. So what should happen to the total mechanical energy of system? I'll ask you some very beautiful questions here. What is R? Let me take a certain instant of time. It will be at a distance R, radial distance R, and it will have here the velocity V. Overall, the energy of satellite, what is the basic equation? E equal to minus gm mass of the Earth. M into 2R, we'll write it like this. There's a total energy of satellite. So now we know that small r will keep on decrease. No, initially it was r naught and finally become capital R. So what's happening to radius of that particular path is decreasing. If radius decreases, What should happen to total mechanical energy? So we should discuss both things, no? Interaction potential and also the kinetic energy. So basically, what is kinetic energy? How you write kinetic energy? Mod of E. No. We know that R decreases. As R decreases, K increases. Okay, get this. And what about the potential energy? If and look at this equation. According to this equation, is since negative sign is there, if R decreases, E will decrease. If R decreases, K increases, and E what happen will decreases. The reason for this is like because of viscous drag. Then if E decreases means what should happen? Therefore, potential energy must decrease here. If I go and check it, no, the rate at which potential energy decreases will be greater than the rate at which kinetic energy increases. The rate at which kinetic energy increases. So kinetic energy increases justified. Overall mechanical energy decreases, but the decrease in potential energy, the rate at which potential energy decreases, no, that will be greater than the increase in kinetic energy. So therefore, the overall energy of the satellite decreases. Where it will go? Converting to heat. It utilized to overcome that one. So kinetic energy increases are justified. This will not come. What about the angular momentum? So what is the angular momentum of satellite? What is the basic formula? Angular momentum should be equal to mvr. Let me write about O. And what is the orbital speed? Gm by r. So this I'll send inside. Look at R. R decreases. So what should happen to LO? Decreases. So its angular momentum about the Earth decreases. So these two are justified. Now, this is taken on. No, its period of revolution around the Earth increases. What about this? Period of revolution. The period of revolution depends on what? The time period of revolution. Well, it depends on small r. That is what you have to check it. So what is the time period? 2 pi r by v naught. V naught is what? And the time period is, or Kepler's law, proportional to t square proportional to r cube. Now, period of revolution, if like as r decreases, t should decrease here. If telling increases, so this is ruled out. But sir, how you can say time period? Let's assume that I know it's not a exact circular motion, but let me take this as a reference line. So now it will start like this. Again, no. So this particular thing you can call it as a still time period only. It may not be exact periodic motion, still time taken to go round. So that will keep on decrease. So what is the time taken to go around like this? Means here like this. This time you take it, then time taken this one. So it keeps on decreases here. What time it takes to go around like this? Then again it will take time. No? So call this as T1. Call this as T2. So definitely T2 will be less than T1. That's what he mean to say here. So these are some conceptual way of testing students. You should go there. So where do the decrease in mechanical energy will go? Convert into, is used to overcome the viscous drag. The decrease in is converted into heat, or is used to overcome the viscous drag. I need tomorrow 1 hour because paper discussion, I don't know, some timing problems will occur and will end up because some good questions are there still. Some very good multiple ideas that we can discuss only in the end of the chapter, not beginning of chapter. So tomorrow I need 1 hour. So you tell to Venkana sir to adjust his timings properly. I think evening 4 to 6 will be free, no? It seems. Am I right? Anybody reply back? 2 to 4 math class will take place, no? 4 to 6 nobody. So why don't you ask the chemistry sir to take 4 to 6, no? So that 6 to 8 will get a time. So you just request chemistry sir, Venkana sir, to engage 4 to 6 so that we can have our slot 6 to 8. I'll also inform him. Okay, tomorrow we'll continue few more discussions, just only for our understanding, learning purpose. Like some Pathfinder problems we did know, nobody will ask you in exams. That one only for learning, because multiple ideas are there. No, mains nobody will ask you. For advances they may ask you. For mains, okay, all that may not be needed. Okay, tomorrow we'll continue. After paper discussion, we'll discuss few more problems. Okay, thank you all of you.
Thank you, sir.
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 Okay, thank you all of you. Take care. Bye. See you.